Okay, so we've integrated our cart end to end. We're pretty satisfied now with what it looks like. But there's one more thing I want to do, right? Because we have navigation over here. Over in this component, we can pull in navigation. And so the one last thing that I want to do to go kind of semi-full circle is after you add the cart, I want to do navigation dot navigate. And I want to automatically navigate us to checkout. And that'll make it look nice. Oh, there we go. So anytime you add the cart, boom, you're in the checkout. Now I have 4 specials in my cart for this restaurant. Amazing. Now, what we also have to note here is that we already built in the logic to clear the cart, right? In the cart context. If you add the cart and the restaurants don't match up, we're going to clear it. So if I go over here and I add it over here, you're going to see, whoa, what's going on here? Is this actually working as intended? Doesn't look like it, does it? Right? If I reload here and I looked at Zuni Cafe and I ordered a special from there, and then I went to a different restaurant, right? Like Brenda, and I ordered a special from there. Well, now I have 2 items in my cart, but the business is being set to Brenda, but I have 2 specials in my cart. That doesn't make sense at all, right? It shouldn't still keep the previous cart. It should reset the cart. So why isn't it doing that? Well, it's because we aren't exiting out of this function. So anytime you do this, you either have to return here or you have to wrap this in an else statement. Otherwise, it'll just execute both, right? So it was adding twice. So if we go look here, small logic error. But now if we go order from Zuni Cafe, 1 item. If we switch over to Brenda's French Soul Food, 1 item. So we're clearing our cart properly now. These logic errors, they can creep up on you though. So either add a return here or add an else statement to wrap the else of this particular logic. Those things can come and catch you and you wouldn't even notice, right? These small little bugs. Same thing with making a little typo here in values, calling it values over value, right? Those types of things you need to watch out for. They can cause tiny little bugs that could basically not show themselves to you until you take a closer look. So it's important to always test this logic. And now that we have the full end-to-end integration of an order button into our cart, we can start building out the UI here to look a bit nicer. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that we have the full flow working from the cart context into the checkout screen, the next logical step is to start building some UI. And in order for us to do that, we need to figure out what exactly we want to show. So first of all, I want to handle some error state. If we do not have a cart, or we do not have a restaurant, what are we going to show? Right? What are we going to show? We don't have anything at all right now to showcase. If I refresh the app here, well, I'm not persisting the cart, am I just yet? We haven't built that functionality yet. So if I go to checkout, I'm not rendering anything. And so what I want us to build here is kind of like a screen that's going to handle users not being able to see anything. So we're going to do a safe area. In that safe area, we're going to have something called a cart icon container. So we're going to start building out hypothetical components that aren't there yet, right? We're going to have some kind of cart icon container. And then inside of that cart icon container, we're going to have the cart icon. And that's going to take in an icon of cart off. So that's an icon that's going to showcase like an empty cart of sorts. And we're going to put in some text saying, your cart is empty, exclamation, slash. Now the text isn't going to come from our typical text right here from React Native. No, we're going to get our text from our actual text component. So the same way we implemented the safe area, we're going to go to components. we're going to go to /typography, text, and pull in our text component. The same is true for our spacer because we're going to end up needing that down the line. So let's go ahead and just import it right now. It's always nice to have it here. And so, well, cart icon and cart icon container are two things we don't quite have yet. So let's go ahead and say import cart icon container and cart icon. But where are we importing them from? We don't have anything yet. Well, we're going to import them from a file called /components, and we're going to create a file called checkout.styles. And this file is going to contain these two components. So if we go over here into components, we'll create a file called checkout.styles. And this is where we will be building out these two components. So how do we build them out in that case? Well, first of all, let's first of all export them, right? So let's put them here. And first of all, let's just say that export const cart icon and export const, right? The cart icon container. Let's just quickly put them to null to enable the ability for us to expose them. Let's import React from React. And what we'll see here is basically nothing at all, except we should be seeing right here the text, your cart is empty, but we're returning null and this is the container. So that's why we're not seeing anything really. Okay, so what is this going to look like then? Well, our cart icon container is not going to come from React. Rather, we're going to import styled from styled components /native. And then what we're going to do with styled is we're going to build out a component here. We're going to say that our cart icon container is going to be a styled.view, and that's going to have a particular style markup. We're going to align items center, and then what we're going to do is justify the content to the center, and we're going to say flex 1. And by doing that, we can see now your cart is empty and it's being centered. Okay, so now that we have that, what is our cart icon going to do? That's a good question. We're going to import something called avatar from React Native Paper. And this is going to enable us to render out a icon. So what we're going to say is that the cart icon is going to be styled of avatar.icon. And then we're going to give it particular attributes that it's going to fulfill from the beginning. If we go look at checkout here, right? It's fulfilling the cart icon already. It's a bit small though. So what we're going to say is that the size is going to be 128 by default. And there we go. Just like that, we've handled our cart empty state, right? But this purple, this isn't our primary brand color. So one more thing that I wanted to do over here is we can set the background color of this. And we can say that the background color should come from props. And we can say props.background or, and then we'll say props.theme.colors.brand.primary. And by doing this, we can either take it from the background property or from the colors, right? Theme.colors.brand.primary. And so right now it's set to blue. So we're doing kind of a fallback here, a fallback scenario. We're saying either take the props background property or take props.theme.colors.brand.primary. Now, why do I need this background here? Well, let's just say if I wanted to make this red, if I wanted to say do BG red, now it's going to take this as the first. I could make it yellow. I could make it green. I can make it all types of different colors. And so the whole point here is that you have the ability to override the cart icon background color in a nice way externally through the prop interface. And so by doing this now, we've implemented the ability to handle the cart empty scenario. But what about when we have items actually in our cart? Well, right now, we're not really handling that at all. It kind of looks like a bunch of text on the screen. So let's go take a look at how we can make that look a bit nicer.